It was just another typical Thursday evening, and I was driving home after a long day at work. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm glow over the streets as I navigated familiar roads. My car, a dependable sedan, was equipped with a Dashcam that I had installed a few months prior, primarily for peace of mind during my daily commutes. Little did I know, this small piece of technology would soon become crucial in an unexpected turn of events. As I approached a busy intersection, I noticed a car swerving erratically in my rearview mirror. It was a sleek black SUV, and the driver seemed to be in a hurry, darting between lanes without regard for the other vehicles on the road. My instinct told me to stay cautious, so I made sure to keep a safe distance. But as fate would have it, this seemingly ordinary drive was about to take a dangerous twist. Just moments later, the SUV pulled up alongside me at a red light. That's when I caught my first glimpse of her. Karen, with her wild hair and intense demeanor, she looked ready to unleash chaos. As the light turned green, I accelerated, but Karen wasn't finished with me yet. She suddenly rammed into my car from the side, leaving me stunned and confused. In that instant, I had no idea how much this encounter would change everything. As I regained my composure after the initial shock of the collision, I turned to look at Karen. She was already out of her vehicle, her expression a mix of anger and defiance. It was almost surreal how quickly she transformed from an ordinary driver to a belligerent force. She stormed over, waving her hands in the air as if trying to direct traffic, but all I could do was sit there, bewildered. "Are you crazy?" she yelled, her voice rising above the honks of other cars. "You just hit me. What were you thinking?" The sheer audacity of her accusation left me speechless. I had been hit, but she was acting as if I had initiated the collision. My heart raced as I processed what was happening. Around us, other drivers began to slow down and gawk at the scene unfolding before them, some even pulling out their phones to capture the spectacle. Meanwhile, Karen continued her tirade, accusing me of reckless driving, despite the fact that I had done nothing wrong. She seemed entirely unfazed by the chaos she had caused. In that moment, it became clear that she wasn't just upset. She was determined to turn this situation to her advantage. I felt a mix of disbelief and frustration simmering within me. How could someone be so brazen? Little did she know that my Dashcam had captured every detail of this encounter, and her plan was about to unravel in ways she couldn't possibly anticipate. The moment of impact was like a scene frozen in time. One moment, I was driving, and the next, there was a loud crunch followed by the jarring sensation of metal colliding with metal. Karen's SUV slammed into the side of my car with an intensity that left me momentarily stunned. It felt as if the world around me had shifted, the sound of screeching tires and honking horns fading into the background. As I glanced at my side mirror, I saw her vehicle coming in hot, closing the gap far too quickly. There was no room to react. I could barely comprehend what was happening. The air filled with a mix of confusion and adrenaline as I struggled to process the reality of being hit. My heart raced as I instinctively checked for any damage. The sight of my car's dented side only added to my shock. After the crash, everything felt surreal, like I was watching a movie rather than living it. Karen's expression shifted. She went from furious to eerily calm as she surveyed the situation. It was almost as if she had planned this all along. She stepped out of her vehicle without a scratch, while I sat there, grappling with disbelief and anger. But in that moment of chaos, one thing became crystal clear. I needed to stay composed and gather my thoughts. This was not just an accident. It was a deliberate act that would soon reveal its true colors, especially once I accessed that Dashcam footage. As I sat in my car, still reeling from the shock of the crash, Karen approached with an air of self-righteousness that was nothing short of infuriating. She leaned against her SUV, arms crossed, and began to launch into a barrage of accusations. "You were speeding. You didn't even look," she shouted, her voice dripping with indignation. It was astonishing how she could twist the narrative so effortlessly. I tried to maintain my composure as she continued her tirade. "This is all your fault. Do you even have insurance?" she demanded, as if I was the one who had instigated this chaos. I could hardly believe what I was hearing. The nerve of this woman to blame me for something I hadn't caused was beyond comprehension. With each passing moment, her tone grew more aggressive, and I could see her determination to manipulate the situation for her own benefit. She began taking pictures of my car while insisting that I would be responsible for all the damages. Meanwhile, I was still grappling with the reality that my vehicle had just been struck intentionally. Despite the mounting frustration, I knew I had to keep my cool. I calmly informed her that I had a dash cam recording the entire incident. For a split second, her bravado faltered as surprise flashed across her face. It was clear she hadn't anticipated that evidence would be working in my favor. As an unsettling silence hung in the air, I felt a surge of hope. Little did she know how this encounter would unravel once I reviewed that footage. In the midst of the chaos and Karen's relentless accusations, I felt a glimmer of hope. The dash cam. I had installed it for moments just like this, and now it could be my lifeline. As I sat in my car, I quickly reached for my phone to access the footage. My heart raced with anticipation. This could change everything. Finding the video file felt like an eternity, but once I did, I pressed play and watched intently. The footage began moments before the crash, capturing Karen's erratic driving as she sped up beside me at the intersection. Her reckless lane changes and sudden acceleration were all recorded in vivid detail. With every frame, my confidence grew. It was clear that her behavior was not only dangerous but intentional. As the video rolled on, I could see the exact moment she collided with my car. It was undeniable. The evidence showed her veering into my lane without warning, striking me deliberately. My stomach churned as I realized just how brazen her actions had been. Here was the proof that would vindicate me and expose her lies. With each replay of that fateful moment, I felt more empowered. This wasn't just a recording. It was solid evidence that could counter her false claims. As I prepared to confront Karen again armed with this newfound knowledge, a sense of determination washed over me. She may have thought she could get away with it, but now the tables were about to turn. The dashcam footage would reveal the truth she tried so desperately to hide. With the dashcam footage loaded on my phone, I took a deep breath and prepared to review the recording. I needed to absorb every detail if I was going to confront Karen with undeniable evidence. The video began with a clear view of the road ahead, capturing the mundane moments leading up to the crash. I watched closely, my heart racing as I saw my own vehicle cruising smoothly, unaware of the impending chaos. As the seconds ticked by, the tension built. There was Karen's SUV in the frame, weaving in and out of lanes like a predator stalking its prey. My nerves tightened as I mentally braced for what I knew was coming. Then it happened, the moment of impact. The footage showed her accelerating aggressively as she veered into my lane, colliding with me. It was all captured in high definition, clear and unambiguous. I replayed that segment several times, each viewing solidifying my resolve. The evidence was irrefutable. Her actions were deliberate and reckless. My stomach churned at the thought of how she had tried to twist the narrative in her favor. But now I had the power to turn the tide back to the truth. As I finished watching, a sense of determination surged within me. This wasn't just about proving my innocence. It was about holding her accountable for her dangerous behavior on the road. Armed with this footage, I felt ready to confront Karen again, ready to show her that she couldn't simply walk away from this without consequences. The truth was on my side. After reviewing the footage, I felt a surge of confidence as I prepared to confront Karen once more. I stepped out of my car, clutching my phone tightly, knowing that I had the evidence to dismantle her fabrications. As I approached her, she was still leaning against her SUV, looking increasingly agitated. The moment she noticed me walking over, her expression shifted from irritation to a wary curiosity. "Look, it's clear you're just trying to get out of trouble," she started again, attempting to regain control of the narrative. But this time, I wasn't going to let her dictate the conversation. I raised my phone, ready to show her the undeniable truth. "Actually, I have something that proves what really happened," I said firmly, tapping the screen to pull up the footage. Her eyes widened as she watched the video play out in real time. The shock on her face was palpable as she saw herself veering into my lane and crashing into my car. "Wait, that's not," she stammered, trying to find her footing. But it was too late. The evidence was right there on display. I could see her confidence crumbling as she realized the gravity of what had just been revealed. "You can't just blame me for this," I said, keeping my voice steady. "You hit me on purpose, and now we both know it." The air between us thickened with tension as I held my ground, ready for whatever excuse she might conjure up next. But deep down, I felt a sense of triumph. The truth was finally coming to light. As the reality of the situation sank in, I knew that the fallout from this incident would extend beyond just a confrontation. The dashcam footage had given me undeniable evidence, but now I had to consider the legal implications of Karen's reckless actions. I felt a mix of anxiety and determination as I contemplated my next steps. First, I needed to report the incident to my insurance company, armed with the video as proof of what had transpired. I could already envision the conversation, calmly explaining how Karen had crashed into me on purpose and presenting the footage that backed up my claims. This evidence would not only protect me during the claims process, but might also help in any potential legal battles that lay ahead. But it didn't stop there. Armed with clear evidence, I realized I could also file a police report. If Karen had intentionally caused the accident, she could face serious consequences, ranging from reckless driving charges to civil liability for damages incurred. The thought of holding her accountable for her dangerous behavior was empowering. As I considered the possibilities, I felt a sense of responsibility. It wasn't just about my own vindication. It was about ensuring that someone who drove that recklessly faced repercussions. Other drivers deserve protection from her unpredictable behavior. With each passing moment, my resolve solidified. This wasn't just a personal battle. It was about making the roads safer for everyone by standing up against reckless driving and demanding accountability. In the days that followed the confrontation, the resolution of the incident began to take shape. After submitting my dashcam footage to both my insurance company and the police, I watched as the pieces slowly fell into place. The evidence was compelling, and it didn't take long for them to recognize the severity of Karen's actions. I received updates from my insurance agent, who informed me that they were pursuing a claim against her for damages and that she had been contacted regarding her reckless driving. As I navigated this process, I took a step back to reflect on everything that had transpired. The experience had been a whirlwind, a mixture of anger, confusion, and ultimately empowerment. I realized how crucial it is to document incidents like this. The dashcam footage not only protected me, but also served as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of road encounters. I felt a newfound appreciation for road safety and the importance of accountability in driving. This incident reinforced my belief that every driver should take precautions to protect themselves. It was about more than just my car. It was about creating a safer environment for everyone on the road. When I finally received a letter from the insurance company confirming the settlement, there was a sense of closure. I had faced an unexpected challenge and emerged stronger, equipped with knowledge and experience. This situation taught me valuable lessons in vigilance and resilience, reminding me that sometimes standing up for what is right can lead to positive change, not just for oneself, but for others as well. As I reflected on the entire ordeal, I recognized several valuable lessons that emerged from this unexpected encounter. The most significant was the importance of being prepared. Having the dashcam footage not only protected me in a moment of chaos, but also provided irrefutable evidence that turned the tide in my favor. It reinforced my belief that technology can be a powerful ally, especially in situations where one's word is pitted against another's. Another lesson learned was about the unpredictability of human behavior. Karen's reckless actions were shocking, but they reminded me that not everyone shares the same sense of responsibility on the road. This experience taught me to remain vigilant and cautious, always anticipating potential risks. It's crucial to prioritize safety and be aware of those around us, as you never know when a seemingly ordinary drive might take a dangerous turn. Moreover, I learned the value of standing up for oneself. Initially, I felt overwhelmed and unsure, but confronting Karen with the truth empowered me. It's essential to advocate for yourself and not let others manipulate situations to their advantage. In closing, this incident served as a stark reminder of the importance of accountability, both for ourselves as drivers and for others who share the road. As I resumed my daily drives, I carried these lessons with me. I felt more equipped to handle challenges that might arise in future, knowing that sometimes Standing firm in the face of adversity can lead to positive outcomes and a safer driving environment for everyone.